Hello, 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 everyone. My name is Valerie Harris, and this is your Stepping Up and Stepping Out series, guys, that airs every Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. And this series has been designed to inspire you, to encourage you, and to empower its listeners to step up and step out of your comfort zone. And this evening, we have a guest with us, and her name is LaShawanda Moore. And I just wanted to give you a few tips about her before she comes out here. She is a native. She lives in Texas, and she's traveling right now. So I'm praying that everything is going well with her right now. But Shawanda is a speaker, a leadership and professional development consultant, an engineer, and leader within a Fortune 500 company. She's a former direct sales leader, the founder of Elevate Success LLC, and a franchise owner of an entertainment park. And as I bring her on, I will let her tell you a little bit more about her and some of the things that she loves to do. So let's bring her out right now. Hello, LaShawanda. How are you?
I am wonderful, Valerie. How are you?
I'm doing fine, dear.
Thank you so much for having me on today.
Yes, it's a pleasure. And I was so glad that you decided to come on out here with me.
Absolutely. I've been eager to just have some dialogue with you, have some conversation, and just empower and speak to your audience.
Yes. And listen, tell us a little more about what you do, because you do a whole lot of interesting and powerful things for those women that you serve.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for asking me about what I do or who I am. But I'll tell you, I believe that everyone has what they need inside of them to lead in life, work, and community. All experiences, good or bad, are for building the depth and character necessary to go to the next level. So, what I do is I help people overcome obstacles that keep them from their next. Whether I do this within my own coaching practice and working with people from a professional development perspective or leadership and business development. But I also do that as a full time job working for a Fortune 500 company where I am known for taking chaos and turning it into calm by assessing the lay of the land, assessing what's going on, and then how do we get unstuck? How do we fix this issue? So I'm super, super excited to be here and to just talk through what might be going on and what challenges you're facing.
Absolutely. And a lot of people do feel unfamiliar and feel stuck and don't know how to get out of what's going on in their life. So that is very important that there are people out there that can assist them in reaching their goals and walking in their passion and fulfilling their purpose that God has purposed each and every one of us with inside of us. So that is just so awesome.
Yes, thank you very much, Valerie.
And what I wanted to really talk to you about that's so interesting to me is that you own you are a franchise owner. And I think that is just powerful right there. So what was some of the first steps that you took to become a franchise owner?
Yes, so Valerie, I'm going to start off by saying that it was a wonderful experience. I absolutely loved being able to be a franchise. I love being able to be a franchise owner, but it was not without its challenges for sure. The very first thing is research and making sure that you know what it is that you're looking for, understand if it's aligned with your mission and your vision for your life. And so, as you are assessing the lay of the land and saying, hey, I want to be a franchise owner, the whole principle is really around it being a business in a box. And so, it's important to make sure that it's a right fit for you.
Yes. Awesome. Because I had another person on. She's a child care worker on my last show, and she's trying to be a franchise owner too. And I thought it's so ironic that you are already one. So that is just powerful, to just know people that are franchise owners. I'm just so proud.
Yes, absolutely. And Valerie, just in the spirit of being transparent, I'm in a hospital right now, and the staff just came into their own conference room to do what they're supposed to be doing, and I need to step out. So just give you 1 second to
I
step out.
will. I'll give you a second. Go on and do what you have to do because I understand. I understand. Yes. And guys, we're going to give her a chance to come back in a few minutes and continue to talk about her business and the things that she's excited about doing. And she is the owner of a Bold Factor too. And this is one of the many leadership tools that she used to employ when she's coaching and helping others unlock their potential and break through to the next level in their life. And LaShawanda is also a wife and a mother of 4 amazing children. She's a ministry leader and a community advocate, known for using her life as an example of what is possible for all through real life conversation and sharing. And like I said, it was so interesting when I met her and found out that she was a franchise owner. And when she tells you where her business is, you're going to just be so overjoyed. And I want to make sure she tells you where it is as we continue to talk. And if you're looking to turn your trials into triumphs and to build a strong personal and professional brand that gains your impact and gives you influence over others, make sure you get in touch with her because she will be willing to talk to you. And I have her link tree running across. So if you want to talk to her further, you can do that. And I also have it in the chat. So here she's back again. All right.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you so much, Valerie. And if I could just be real with your audience today, even in this life of being, a business owner, a mother, a wife, life is no respect of person and life still happens to everyone. So just found out last night that my mentor of 25 years, the godmother of all 4 of my children, suffered a stroke, brain bleeding, and unconscious. And so I hopped on a flight, bought a ticket at 11 p.m. last night, hopped on a flight, and I literally just got to the hospital. Visiting hours are over at 8 o'clock, but I got a chance to lay my eyes on her. And I'm just so glad that I spent some time with her earlier this month. And I'm just happy to be here right now to support her family, her daughter, her son, and be here. But I don't renege on my word. When I say I'm going to do something, and I committed to you, some time ago, Valerie. So I just want to let people know that, hey, life happens,
Yes.
right? And for me, I trust God.
Yeah.
And when you trust God, he always wins. He never puts himself to shame. So even in my businesses as a franchise owner, and I share with you, it hasn't been without its challenges, but it's been amazing because God has continued to use all of everything that I've experienced with this franchise for the good of other people. And that's the call on my life, to be the open book and to allow people to see into my life and see what goes on and how you too can still stand and have peace and rest even in the midst of chaos.
Yes. And like you said, to just be your authentic self because we all go through things.
Yes,
And
we do.
if you're living in this time, there are things that we all are going through, family wise, friends wise. We just see so much going on in our personal lives. But like you said, God is sovereign and
Yes,
he's
he is.
able to see us through every situation, every challenge. And we have to know that we have to depend on him for all things because he said he will not put more on us than we can bear, and that we can depend on him to carry us through and to even give us the peace even in the storm. So I totally agree with you because life does happen, and I do thank you for still availing yourself to come out here and just talk for a few minutes. And I will not keep you out here long. I just want to maybe ask you 2 more questions and we'll get off because I do want you to be able to spend time with your mentor before the time is up at the hospital. So let's talk about this brick and mortar business that you own and what happened during COVID. How did you handle all of that? Because that was still another challenge. That was still, a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was unexpected for everybody, right? Nobody knew COVID was going to happen to us. And our doors were closed. So let me just back up and say that I opened up the doors of Launch Family Entertainment Park, which is a 29,000 square foot facility featuring trampolines, laser tag, dodgeballs, cafe, arcades, all kinds of cool, fun stuff, right? We opened the doors December 29th, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
But in March of 2020, we were a little over a year old. COVID slapped us down, and we were just about getting to a point where we were meeting our weekly goals, our weekly revenue goals, and we were seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So pick up on that, audience, that when you own a brick and mortar business, instant revenue and instant profit doesn't happen like within 6 months. Sometimes it's a year, and just depending on, or a couple of years, depending on the type of business that you decide to get into. And that's an important thing for you to understand before you sign your name on the dotted line for a franchise, is to see the numbers. You need to see the finances and the break even. Okay. So bag up COVID, shut the doors March 14th, 2020. And at that time, I'm like, okay, I still have those bills that are coming in,
Mm-hmm.
the light bill, right? All of these things were still coming in, but I didn't have employees there or a customer base. So we did all that we could do to get the PPP loans, the IDOs. We did all of that due diligence, and we were successful getting those things. And I was able to give people their jobs back, which was very important to my husband and I. When we first opened up this business, it was really about how do we get into a venture in which we could create jobs for the economy and teach our children entrepreneurship firsthand, because we do believe that small businesses is what upholds America.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do we teach our children firsthand? You know, we had our own individual consulting and coaching business. He had his own photography business, but nothing ever where the children could participate firsthand
Mm-hmm.
and be a part of from infancy all the way to maturity. And so, when we were able to bring our staff back, that gave my heart some calm, right, under the PPP. But then it's like, well, what should the staff be working on? I'm
Right.
paying them, but what do they do? We don't have any customers coming into play at this part. And I was reminded of our why.
Mm-hmm.
See, our why is we believe that everyone should have an equal rights opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to an enjoyable and sustainable life.
Yeah.
We mentor, teach, and role model ethics, economics, and entrepreneurship. So if I have my why in mind, I have this 29,000 square foot facility, I'm paying the bills, keeping the lights on. What can I do right now to use this facility? And so then what we did was we hosted blood drives. We
Ah.
allowed the American Red Cross to come and set up in that facility, and because people still needed to have blood drives, right? So we did 2 blood drive events. We also opened it up for possible being a site that would give COVID vaccinations and do COVID tests. We started doing that. We also had it where entrepreneurs could come in there. It was so big that you could be socially distant and
Mm-hmm.
have your events there in a socially distant space. So it's like, how do we still maximize the use of this facility and keep advancing our why, advance our purpose and our intent for life?
Mm.
Because no matter what happens, we don't have control over crises that
No.
may come our way. So it's so important for us to be crystal clear on why we're doing something, so
Mm-hmm.
that when the going gets tough, you can drill back in on your why and figure out, how can I advance it even now?
Yeah.
And you just ask God for the creativity. Partnerships and collaborations were really key for us too during the pandemic. Where we had people who still wanted to have host things. So we held private events, right? So that people could come in with their own families and still hold their events, still have a wonderful, fun experience, give people an enjoyable and sustainable life, even in the midst of COVID, right? So these are the kinds of things that we did during COVID, and partnering with organizations, partnering with other businesses, partnering with daycares, partnering with other entities was key for us to be successful during that time, because they saw us as someone that was helping them and helping to support them even in the midst of the storm.
And look at what's such a collaboration with the community.
Yeah.
That's big, to be able to invite them in and to be able to utilize what you have, because whatever we do, God's supposed to get the glory out of it.
Absolutely. And I'm
And
going to
so,
tell you, if it
yeah.
wasn't for collaborating with the community,
Mhm.
I don't know that we would still be alive,
Yeah.
right? We have been able to partner with schools, and host back to school drives, sneaker drives, partnering with communities in school. That all stem, though, from one thing: being clear on your why.
Yeah, definitely.
And using that as the lens from which you make decisions.
That's powerful right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm quite sure your employees were grateful, because that still gave them a job.
Absolutely. And I still have people who've been with us since day one. Now, during the pandemic, retention was very difficult. Like once we opened back up in July of 2020, July 1st, 2020, the governor allowed us to open back up. The employees that we once had moved on.
Yeah.
They moved on to other opportunities where they could still make money during the pandemic. So we almost had to start all over. When we first opened the doors, we hired 100 people to work at launch.
Wow.
And they were high school students, because a lot of them, probably about 90% were high school students. Because again, remember, we want to mentor, teach, and role model ethics, economics, and entrepreneurship. Our goal is to develop our employees, develop our staffs to go beyond the doors of launch and be the best that they can be.
Absolutely.
Like when the next employer gets our older employees, they're like, man, it's some great employees.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at the training. I mean, you had a triple fold of what was going on just with that business.
Yeah.
And it blessed so many people in the community and the individuals that work there. Like you said, they learned such skills while they were there, so they were able to carry those skills with them when they left. So that's great right there. That's awesome.
And most businesses fail. They either gonna sink or swim.
Yeah.
They fail within the first 4-5 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses fail. Well, guess what? We just turned 4 years old, December 29th, and we're still kicking.
Look at that.
Our numbers are popping back up there. We're reviewing the numbers today with our GM, and it's just like, wow, God is good. He's faithful. And when you focus on mission first, the money comes through the back door.
Yes. Yes.
Mission first. And whatever you do, and you do it as unto the Lord,
that's it.
He's not gonna put himself to shame.
No.
And I don't know. I think everybody knows that launch is owned by a Christian Black woman. If they don't, they've been sleeping under a rock.
Hey.
And so I put God's name all over it.
Yeah, because we have to allow Him to be the center of everything that we do.
Absolutely.
But my God shall what? Supply all
our needs according to His riches and glory. And He's rich.
Yes.
He's rich.
Yes.
Yes.
Rich. Yes. Amen. So I'm not going to keep you on here any longer, but this has been awesome for you to come out here. But tell everybody where your business is.
Oh, well, my business is in Midlothian, Virginia, which is in the RVA, Richmond, Virginia area, 10903 Hall Street Road in the Victorian Square Shopping Center. And it's clean. I don't know any trampoline parks that you can go to and be in almost where you can eat off the floor. It's so clean, but it's clean, great service, great experience. And it's right there in Richmond.
Right there.
Check it out. We do birthday parties. We do lock-ins.
Let the audience know what you're doing. Let them know.
Yes, we do corporate team building events. We do fundraisers. So if you want to raise some money, look, hey Dana. Dana's been with us since day one.
And Dana said yes.
Her son loves Launch.
Yeah.
It's a great energy in there. The color scheme that we use is green and yellow, which are very vibrant and amazing colors. So you just feel good when you walk in there.
I love
So
it.
come on and check us out.
Yeah.
And those that are interested in coaching and consulting, speaking, I do business strategy work, professional development. I help people prepare and land the job,
Yes.
and that's through my website, lashawandamore.com.
Yes. And I put your link tree up there to have all your information. So if anyone needs to get in contact with LaShawanda, you should go to that link tree because it'll give you all of her information so that you can get in
Absolutely.
contact with her and talk with her at a later time.
Yes.
So Dana
I,
said her son loved Launch.
he does.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
just, one of the things too, I encourage people is to solicit feedback from your customer base. I actually solicited feedback. And Dana was very instrumental in giving me some feedback about the business. And since I have implemented memberships at Launch, so we now have $12.99 a month. You can come in there and jump unlimited every day.
Every day.
Every day for $12.99. So hey, check us out. Launchrichmond.com is the website, www.launchrichmond.com.
And I'll make sure I put that in the so that they'll be able to see that in the chat too. So if you would text that to me, I will also put that in there so that they will know how to get in contact with that, with your business, and be able to bring those kids and the whole family and have a good time.
Listen, I love to play at Launch too. Laser tag is my favorite. It's a 2-story arena and it's fun.
All right.
So adults play too.
All right. Well, thank you,
from a mental health perspective, more laughter and play is good for us as adults.
It's good for our soul.
It sure is.
If you're sitting around now and not laughing, you need to laugh at yourself sometimes.
Absolutely.
Because it makes you. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I mean, whenever I would start to feel down, a little down about the business, I'd focus in on my why, but I would also go and play. We have a mascot, Joey, a 7-foot green kangaroo. And every time I would see Joey, he would brighten up my day. I would hug him and he would just make me feel good. He just has one of those looks about him. And then I would go play laser tag or jump on the trampolines for a little bit and get a dose of dopamine. Right. And it totally switches those stress hormones into some of those feel good hormones that we need in order to keep going.
Because the thing of it is, we have to learn how to be entertained and learn how to have fun. Because all play is not good. You need to be able to have fun.
And sometimes I think as adults, we forget how to have fun. We get so busy and inundated with life, as an employee, a mom, a wife, or whatever it is. I remember I hosted my birthday party at Launch. And I had all of these adults in there, but people were kind of sitting around like, okay, what are we supposed to do? So I literally had to facilitate. Let's come over here and let's try this out. Let's play on the battle pit. Let's go and do the launch pad, and kind of move people around so that they can engage. And once they engage, they were like, oh my God, that was so fun.
Yes.
And so then I started hosting adult only nights, but that was a really hard thing for us to get off the ground because we don't think to do those kinds of things, right? It's just not there.
And we have to find a way for self. I talked about self-care a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And part of that self-care is that for mentally wise, we have to take a break and we have to spend some time on ourselves so that we won't just be stressed out, so that we won't just be so dull that, we think that we have to work all the time and not have any fun. Because I love to laugh.
I know I do too. But you know what? Self-care, everyone has to figure that out for themselves. Like what works for you. Self-care is also soul care. So as long as you're taking care of your soul, right? And you're doing the things that you need to do to feed yourself, whether it's devotion time, meditation time, whatever it is, you got to figure out what works for you to take care of yourself. Yeah, getting your nails done and a spa experience. I absolutely love those things. But sometimes you got to go deeper.
Gotta
right?
go deep.
To
Yeah.
touch into those emotions and the mental aspect of who you are and your being.
Yes, absolutely. And sometimes just a matter of just sitting there and breathing in and blowing it out, just to release some of the things that are going on with us. It's like we said before at the beginning of the show, life happens,
Yes.
and the thing of it is, as long as we're able to get through it and be able to not let it get us down, because James tells us to count it all joy, even though it might not feel good, but to count it all joy, even when we go through these struggles and even when we go through these tests, to count it
Yes.
all joy,
Yes.
So, uh, you know,
Yes. And
that's where I'm
the
at.
challenge is always getting through the going through, right? But
Yeah.
we understand that everything that we go through is for building character for the
Yes.
next level.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If we don't go through anything, we won't be filled with stuff that'll help us in that next level. Right?
No, to
That we
help
won't
somebody else too.
I was just about to say we won't be the testimony that God needs us to be. So
Absolutely.
we
Absolutely.
you I just before we close, there were a couple of things, from a franchise perspective. I did start off before the doctors came into their conference room to
Uh-huh.
move me out. Do your research
Yes.
on your franchise. Don't make quick decisions about franchises. Make sure that you understand your competition and what differentiates that franchise from other franchises.
Mm-hmm.
Know the numbers and what it takes to break even. Look at that company's track record. You also want to make a decision of whether you want to start with a new venture, new company, or a more mature company. There are pros and cons for both. We
Mm-hmm.
chose to start with a newer company. So when the pandemic happened, we were all learning together, right?
Yeah.
But you want to look at what marketing support are you going to get, what business development, organizational development, information technology infrastructure, crisis management. Like you want to know all of those things and talk to some existing owners before you sign your name on the dotted line. The company is going to make it look glorious.
Yeah.
It's going to feel good. It's going to sound good. But you want to interview other people who own a franchise before you say yes. Location, location, location is
Yeah.
everything. If you decide to say yes, make sure you choose a location where it's visible and people you can get some of that drive-by um, visibility and interest. So yes,
I
those are
love
just a few things to get you started. If anybody has any questions or I missed something, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to share everything that I've learned from
Yes.
experience.
Well, I thank you so much for accepting the invitation to come on as a guest. And I've enjoyed this because, like I said, I want to know about the franchise piece, and I'm just so proud of you and your accomplishment of having a franchise. So that's really, really great. So I'm going to encourage parents, make sure they go to Richmond to go to that business and go to
Please.
lunch and have a good time. How about that?
Yes, and if you have any issues while you're there, let me know to give us an opportunity to make it right.
To make it right. Absolutely.
Yes.
But thank you so much. And I'm
You're
going to see you in
welcome.
just a minute and I'm going to close, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed those tips that she gave us about being able to launch a franchise and some of the things that we need to know and think about if we're planning on starting a franchise. It's not an easy task, but it can be done because she did it, and I'm very proud of LaShawana. So I just want to close tonight and thank you all for coming out here to talk, listen to the guest tonight. And I pray that, you all gleaned something from it. If you're looking to start a business or start a franchise, and she's available, and I will put her other information in the chat so that if you want to reach out to her, you can. And this is the end of your Stepping Up and Stepping Out for tonight. Talk Time Val is about to sign out. But before I go, I tell you every week, go to Stepping Out with Valerie Harris and subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. And if you need to get in contact with me or want to have a consultation with me about what you're doing with your business, or if you need to be coached or you need consultation services, make sure you go to my website and sign up for a meet and greet. And we will talk about whatever is going on in your life right now that you need help to push you to the next level level in whatever it is that God has called you to do for a time such as this. And so I'm signing out tonight, and it was good coming out here with you. You can also reach out to me on Facebook. You can reach out on LinkedIn. And guys, it was wonderful coming out here talking to you for a few minutes on tonight. And Talk Time Val is signing out, and I will be talking to you a little bit later.